Fucking hell, guys, the record-breaking heatwave across Europe has potentially killed more than 20,000 people in just 1 week in Europe. A new preliminary study estimates that between June the 22nd and June the 28th, approximately 20,390 people died from heat-related causes across Europe as temperatures climbed above 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius in many regions. The estimate has not yet been peer-reviewed and is not an official death count. Instead, it uses an established statistical model that links rising temperatures to increases in mortality across more than 900 regions in Europe. According to this analysis, France experienced the highest estimated death toll with about 5,210 deaths, followed by Germany with 4,543, Spain with 3,163, and Italy with 2,709. The findings highlight just how dangerous extreme heat can be. Unlike floods, hurricanes, and wildfires, heat often kills quietly. It worsens heart disease, strokes, respiratory illnesses, and dehydration, with older adults and people with chronic health conditions facing the greater risk. Jesus Christ, guys, this is wild, to be honest. As if this has potentially killed, possibly rather a lot of people. Scientists say Europe is warming faster than any other continent, heating at roughly twice the global average. Research also suggests heat waves like this one have become dramatically more likely because of climate change. Although many European countries have introduced cooling centres, early warning systems and public health measures since the devastating 2003 heat wave. Researchers warn, though, there may be limits to how much societies can adapt as temperatures continue to rise. Jesus Christ, guys, be careful in the heat. Over the next 2 weeks, we have got a heat wave again cracking off from now until near the end of flicking July for the next 15 days, guys. So make sure you stay safe, hydrated, and keep that sunblock on. Stay out of the sun at the midday.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with this life-threatening heat wave now spreading across the U.S. Authorities tonight are warning of dangerous heat expected to last for days. In New York City, it'll soon feel like 108 degrees or more. The Midwest already suffering tonight. It feels like 106 degrees in Chicago. Tonight, more than 175 million Americans, roughly half the country, under extreme heat alerts from the Gulf Coast to the Midwest to the Northeast. The heat index well into the triple digits. Philadelphia to New York to Boston, it'll feel like 110 degrees in parts of the Northeast for the start of the July 4th holiday weekend. And tonight, we're also watching massive wildfires burning in multiple states, red flag warnings in 6 states tonight. The Snyder Fire burning tens of thousands of acres along the Utah-Colorado border. Also this evening, heat advisories across the Deep South. And in the Northeast, these extreme heat warnings start tomorrow and right through Friday. Lee Goldberg has the forecast and Alex Perez with the warning tonight from authorities to take this heat seriously. He leads us off from Chicago.
Tonight, record-breaking heat bringing life-threatening conditions to millions.
We're bracing sort of for impact.
Chicago's first major heat wave in full effect, feeling like 106, even hotter than yesterday. Dr. Jane Wilcox from Northwestern Memorial says in these temperatures, heat stroke could begin in minutes.
Right now, the right thing is to stay inside and let this heat wave pass.
Ice cold water.
Heat patrols handing out water in real field temperatures up to 109 degrees and looking for warning signs.
If somebody's not sweating, they're in heat stroke, which is a life and death emergency.
A life and death emergency unfolding at a gas station in Dearborn, Michigan, after a mom accidentally locked her 1-month-old baby in her car. Officers getting that baby just in time.
Babies just can't tolerate that level of heat for very long. We're talking minutes.
Sadly, in Plantation, Florida, overnight, a baby boy was found dead in a car outside a nursery school. Authorities say his father forgot he was in the back seat. And as the heat spreads east, it's only expected to get worse. Stifling feels-like temperatures from Philly to New York to Boston could break 110 in some spots. At MetLife New York, New Jersey Stadium, they're beefing up medical teams in case fans at the World Cup fall ill from the heat.
These are extremely dangerous conditions, and they will affect every part of our city.
Meanwhile, in the West, 54 large fires are burning across 8 states. New Ring camera video shows the Aspen Acres fire incinerating a family's home and camper in Pueblo County, Colorado. Officials are restricting and even banning 4th of July fireworks in many areas because of the conditions. And David, they tell me at the emergency room here they are bracing for a possible surge in patients impacted by the heat. And authorities say with those cases of kids left in cars, it's a stark reminder that with temperatures this high, it can turn deadly in minutes. David?
That is for sure. Alex Perez leading us off tonight. Alex, thank you.
Shalom, shalom. We're back with another lesson. So before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh, to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. I'd like to give double honor, shalom, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom. We're here with a lesson I'm going to call Deadly Heat Wave is the plague of the Lord. It's one of the plagues of the Lord. And even though both these videos are, one is a few months old and a week or two old, we're still going through those heat waves. And the hottest day, well, the hottest month still haven't even come in, which is August, when we know that sun ramps up. So we're seeing now, within a week, how this heat wave in Europe then totally just blew the numbers out the water with deaths. You seen France 5,000, Spain with 2,000. Now you got to remember, all the numbers that the man was counting off wasn't done in a month, but within a week, the amount of deaths that went on due to this heat wave, which Babylon also is under a heat wave. They call it a heat dome. And we know this is the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, that he's plaguing the earth with this heat. So we're going to get into that first. This Revelation 16, verses 8 and 9. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And that's what we're seeing. That fourth angel pouring out his vial upon the sun, and he's scorching, putting a lot of men to death with this heat from the sun. And it was the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua that this be done. And like I said, we still haven't even come into the hottest month, which is August. So I can only imagine how Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to take that heat that's already at a 10 and turn it into a 20. Verse 9, and men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, which have power over these plagues. You see? It's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua who has power over the plagues. And what's the plague that's going on right now? Well, one of the plague of heat. This overbearing heat. Because most times you think of plagues, you think of illnesses, you think of contagions, things like that. But no one but Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua would ever thought making a plague of heat. And we're seeing the world suffer from it. We're seeing thousands die within a week. As the man said, it wasn't confirmed, but 20,000 people within a week, that's a lot of people, man. That's a lot of death. That's a lot of judgment from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And we all know, those of us in the truth, understand this is only the tip of that iceberg of the kind of death that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is unleashing upon the earth right now. And they reputed not to give him glory. They repented not to give him glory. Yeah, because what they'll try to blame it on, global warming, too much carbon dioxide in the air, too much carbon emission from cows farting and people farting, shit like that. They're not going to give it to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua that this plague of heat was done by his hand, was ordered by him. But they're going to learn. Because when August set in, man, I can see Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And this is just me talking as a man. But I can see Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua turning that thing up. Because y'all don't think it's the work of the Most High now. What you going to do if he end up turning that heat up a little higher? A little faster and a little quicker? Would you still believe in global warming? Would you still believe in this carbon emission? No, man, this is the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai, as it said. He's the one who told the angel to pour out that vial upon the sun. Because he had power to do that. This is the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai, that the world be plagued like this. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 27. For now are the plagues come upon the earth, and ye shall remain in them. See? And we're seeing more and more plagues getting dumped upon the earth. So every week you hear about some new plague that's going on. So I can see Yahweh Bashim Shai taking that plague of heat and turning it up to something even more worse. And we know if you one of those melaninous mutants, this plague of heat, the plague from the sun, is really tough on you because you have no melanin to absorb some of that heat. So they're really frying. I looked it up earlier just to make sure, and they're like, it's more so-called blacks and Latinos and Native Americans dying than so-called white. You know what? Let me just prove that. I don't want to sit here and just say that. Let's see. Let's see. Not that. Or white people dying more from the heat wave. Let's see. Hey, no, white people do not die at higher rates from heat waves. Instead, minority groups, particularly Black and American Indian and Alaskan Natives. You see? So they're saying the tribes die more from heat waves than so-called white people. Now, I believe that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. Because they can't even stand the sun. The sun is their enemy. But we'll just let them have that. Because we know those so-called blacks and Native Americans that are dying, just the 2/3 of our people who Yahweh Bashim Shai is passing judgment upon. But like he said, these plagues, man, that's what he's putting these plagues out on the earth. And he said they're not gonna turn back, they're gonna remain. I'm gonna read it one more time, 2 Ezra 15 and 27. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For Yahweh shall not deliver you because you have sinned against him. And if it's right that those so-called blacks and Native Americans died at a higher rate, you see, Yahweh Bashim Shai said, hey, those who sinned against him, they're going to die. They're going to die by these plagues. And the number one plague right now is their heat plague. And we're going to go here to 2 Ezra 16. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. See? The Lord already is telling them, woe meaning destruction. And how is that destruction coming? By what way? By the way of heat for right now. I mean, there's other plagues, regular plagues. What they got, I can't think of some of the plagues that they got out there, some of the diseases and shit they got going on out there. But right now, we know for sure this heat wave, this plague of heat that Yahweh Bashim Shai has put upon the earth is doing this job very well. Now we're going to go down to verse 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that he may drive it away? ? No one can drive away these plagues of heat that Yahweh Bashim Shai is bringing upon the earth. Verse 6. May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Nope. Or may any quench the fire in stubble when it has begun to burn? No, you can't quench it. So just like you can't quench the fire, there's no one but Yahweh Bashim Shai that can quench the heat that's coming from the sun. And see, since he's the one who's directing it, you better believe He not about to quench that fire anytime soon, man. So we're gonna see more and more people die to these fires, to the heat that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is cooking the earth with. Verse 9, a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that he may quench it? Now this, start at 8. The mighty Lord sent his plague, and who is he that can drive it away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that he may quench it? Now this is talking about the thermonuclear missiles once they're sent out. But right now, it's the same thing. This fire that's destroying everything is the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So who may quench it? No one. The Lord always repeat the question so you understand. Man, there's nothing you can do against me. And there's no one that can stop what I do but me. And we're watching the people continue to die and suffer under that. That's it, man. We'll end it right there. I just wanted to do a little quick lesson on that. But we all understand this is the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, that this heat wave is putting a lot of people to death. And we know Yahweh Bashim Yahushua can and will make it hotter if he see fit. So this little death toll of 20,000 in a week, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua can blow that out the water at any time. But that's all I had on that. I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Shalom.